guys, I hope your week is off to a good start. So as you can tell from the title and thumbnail of today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the skincare brand Maelove. If you're not familiar with Maelove, they're both cruelty-free and vegan. I've gotten many requests on my Facebook page, my Instagram, as well as, of course, the comments in my YouTube videos if I could review this brand. And I also get tons of queries, tons of questions. Please, can you recommend more cruelty-free brands, more vegan brands? So hopefully today's video will meet your requests, those of you out there asking for this particular type of video. But Maelove, I have used a fair number of their products, so I look forward to discussing the ingredients today and the merits, etc. The first product that I've used several times and have repurchased and am using yet again is, no surprise, what would you expect me to love the most? The sunscreen. This is the sun protector, and I'm really impressed with the aesthetics of this sunscreen. It is a non-nano-sized zinc sunscreen, so it's mineral only. So for those of you out there who are looking for sunscreens that don't have any chemical filters in them, because chemical filters can sting and can be a little irritating, you want only a mineral sunscreen. This meets that request, and it is non-nano sized. What does that mean? No nanoparticles are not harmful to human health, so far as we know, with all the body of evidence that we have. But there is some concern with nanoparticles in terms of their potential impact on the health of marine ecosystems. So people from an eco environment standpoint want to select non-nano-sized zinc sunscreen. So this meets that as well. Non-nano-sized zinc, what does that mean as far as the protection it's affording you? Well, non-nano-sized zinc will give you excellent protection against UVB. It will give you excellent protection against UVA1 and UVA2. As you start to nano-size zinc and the particles get smaller, you lose some of that UVA2, that those broader wavelengths of UVA. You lose some of that protection. Those are the rays that penetrate most deeply into the skin. You lose some of that with the smaller particles of zinc. So you're not losing that here. This also, believe it or not, will also give you a little bit of protection against blue light that can contribute to persistent hyperpigmentation. I'm always talking about iron oxides. Well, non-nano-sized zinc will, like iron oxides, non-nano-sized zinc can give you some protection against those wavelengths as well. So non-nano-sized zinc, not only is it ideal for people who, from an environmental perspective, want to avoid nanoparticles, want to avoid chemical filters. It's not only helpful to people who are irritated by chemical filters, but it is a good choice for people with persistent hyperpigmentation related to either melasma or healing acne. I'll put a little swatch of this on in a moment, but I'm really impressed with the cast on this. For non-nano-sized zinc, it dries very sheer, does not leave a cast. So for people with darker skin types, this is a good sunscreen to consider giving a try. In addition to offering good UVB and UVA protection, as well as protection against visible light, this sunscreen also has licorice root extract in it. Licorice root contains compounds like licoridins that can inhibit some of how pigment is transferred around in the skin, and it can impart a brightening effect, which I do appreciate when I wear this. I put this on the other day. I came into my mom's living room. She's like, whoa, your skin suddenly looks a lot brighter. Did you just do something? And it was, I just put this sunscreen on. In addition to the licorice root extract, this also has date fruit extract in it, which has been shown to similarly impart kind of a transient brightening effect to the skin. Also has been shown to be helpful in decreasing redness. It's anti-inflammatory. It's been shown to be helpful in improving oil output, sebum output. So for people with oily skin, that's an ingredient that can give you a little bit of something extra. All preliminary studies, but overall seem to be well tolerated and a decent ingredient to include in sunscreens. I already mentioned it doesn't leave a cast. I will say that when it goes on, it does leave, however, a little bit of a sticky tackiness to it. So I don't know how well this will hold up under your makeups and things like that. My understanding, just from other reviews, is that this goes really well with makeup. The skin type that I think will find this, will be most happy with this, are people with oily, acne-prone skin. Because it is in a very lightweight vehicle, it's not super moisturizing. So, you know, for people with drier skin, people who describe themselves as mature skin, or are looking for more of a moisturizer with their sunscreen, I don't think this is going to be enough. I mentioned it's a little bit on the sticky, tacky side as well, and I never found that dried down ever. So that tackiness kind of stays. That's the one thing I don't like about the sunscreen, is that it leaves a stickiness to it. So if I wear my hair down, which I'm wearing right now, and you know, I go outside, it's annoying to have my hair, you know, kind of sticks to it. I'm not going to put on a full face of sunscreen like you should. I've already got that on. I'm just going to swatch some of it on so you guys can see how it goes on here. I'm just going to do some on the cheeks. There it is. It's also pretty easy to tolerate around the eyes. So it goes on sheer white, and then it's still a little damp on my face, but it starts to dry down much more transparent and translucent with time, and that whiteness that you're seeing slowly starts to fade. By about, I would say, 10 or 15 minutes, there's really no cast. So I think, as far as here, I'll just come up a little bit closer again. It still hasn't dried down as of yet. It's only been on there for a few minutes, but I think as far as a non-nano zinc sunscreen, this is a pretty impressive lack of a cast here with this sunscreen. So I think you guys will like it in that sense. People who I think will really get along well with this sunscreen are people with oily prone, acne prone skin. It's not super moisturizing. In fact, I actually find it a little drying. I find it a little drying and you know, not quite moisturizing enough for what I like. My preference is the Elta MD UV Sport. It's very, very moisturizing. I also love the Altruist sunscreen. Those are in the Hada Labo UV White Gel. It's very moisturizing. Those I find give me a lot more of the moisture that I need. The Elta MD UV Clear, however, I've said in other videos, is very, very lightweight and not moisturizing enough for me. And that's how Maelove is. It's a very lightweight lotion, and so it's not super moisturizing. So people who have very greasy, shiny skin will get along well with this. So it is acne friendly. I don't think it's quite moisturizing enough if you have eczema prone skin, dry skin. If you have a lot of dryness from retinoids, you might not find this get along too well with this. But if you do have greasy skin and you're using a retinoid, you know, this may be enough for you. It does offer very good sun protection. People with rosacea, this might be a good choice for you as well. Non-nanosized zinc sunscreens tend to be very rosacea friendly, whereas the chemical sunscreens, particularly those that have cinnamate derivatives as filters, can trigger a flare of rosacea, and this does not have those in it. However, the date fruit extract, while novel and interesting and has been shown to have some beneficial properties to it, given that it's a fruit extract, I can never predict how that's going to go for people, and that can be potentially the problematic ingredient for people with sensitive skin, as well as for people with pre-existing fragrance allergy. I can't tell you if there are any cross-reacting allergens in date fruit extract. So this would be a favorite of mine. This is my second tube of it actually, and so I'm glad I got my hands on it because it's currently sold out on their site. Not slated to be back in stock until March, But hopefully when it comes back in stock, this review, you can come back to it or remember it, or you can forget about it if what I'm saying doesn't sound appealing to you. They also have a moisturizer that is interesting, the One Cream, that I've tried and like. This product contains squalene, which is a wonderful moisturizing ingredient. It's a component of our lipid barrier naturally and of our oil secretions. And in studies looking at squalene and moisturizers, it appears to be excellent at helping the skin barrier helping to restore the skin barrier, helpful for dryness, eczema prone skin. Everyone always asks me, is it acne safe? So at this point, the jury's still out as far as if it's going to be problematic for your acne. This product also has alkyl glucosides, which are coconut derived, and those can be wonderful ingredients. However, people with sensitivity to coconut, do be aware that that is there and it might cause problems for you. But I can't say in a global sense who specifically that will be a problem for. The other thing that's interesting in this product is that it has fructooligosaccharides, which are prebiotics. And if you recall back to my diet, some of my diet videos, my videos on supplements, prebiotics are kind of something that is needed to help probiotics work optimally. They're kind of like the food for the probiotics. And so prebiotics, if you're pursuing probiotics as a supplement, just as a side note from that video, you kind of need some fiber to go along with it. And this is interesting in that they put prebiotics into the moisturizing cream with the idea that applying prebiotics topically to the skin, they're claiming is going to be helpful for some of the natural microflora on your face and imparting a good skin microbiome. I would say the jury is still out. The data is very limited. There's quite a paucity of data on topically applied topical probiotics and prebiotics for any skin concern, any skin condition, or showing robust skin benefit. So I think it's interesting that that's in there, but I wouldn't hang my hat on it or go chasing that as an ingredient necessarily. The ingredient in this that gives me pause is the honeysuckle extract. I would say honeysuckle, it's a flower. It's even, no matter how they steam distill it or process it, always has a potential to cause problems for people. There is one case report in the medical literature that I can find of allergic contact dermatitis to Japanese honeysuckle extract in a cosmetic cream, so certainly is possible. But again, any ingredient you could eventually develop an allergy to. Can't predict who will, but that has been reported. Overall, it's a very light. I've used it myself. It's a very lightweight moisturizer. I don't think it's going to be heavy enough for people with mature skin, people with extremely dry skin, but people with oily skin, you may find that at nighttime, this is a good choice for using. And the honeysuckle extract in there is going to give me pause to go recommending this for anybody with rosacea. I think that is an ingredient that could present a red flag for you. Then the third product, they have 6. I'll review all the products. The third product that I personally have tried and really liked and recommend, it's expensive though, is their night renewer. This is $27.95. This is a moisturizer that is shea butter based. Shea butter moisturizers are really well liked by people with dry skin. So I think instead of the One Cream, those of you out there with extremely dry, dull skin will like the night cream, the night renewer. It is shea butter based, so shea butter is a heavier moisturizer. It's more occlusive. It's better at preventing transepidermal water loss. So I think you'll enjoy that. And this product also contains glycolic acid at, I believe, 10% glycolic acid. Glycolic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid, which in moisturizers, like I said in my alpha hydroxy acid video, in moisturizers found over the counter, glycolic acids, they can lightly exfoliate, lift up some of that dead stuff off the very top layer of your skin. They're not going to peel you though, especially not in the same manner that a in-office peel would, because the concentrations are so much lower. And the 10% glycolic acid, just to remind you, the percentage of glycolic acid in a product, or the percentage of an alpha hydroxy acid, is not really the determining factor as to its efficacy. The percentage of glycolic acid doesn't tell you the amount of free bioactive glycolic acid, glycolic acid that is active and functional as an exfoliant. It doesn't tell you anything about how this is going to go as an exfoliant. That is influenced by something known as the free acid value, which is influenced by the pH of the product and also operates under some assumptions about the vehicle and the formulation of the product. And at the end of the day, it's not really possible to predict any one product, how it's going to go for you, what its biological endpoint is going to be for you. It's going to be influenced by many factors. But in this night renewer, by and large, let's just say the glycolic acid is largely functioning as a humectant, which most alpha hydroxy acids and moisturizers that you buy over the counter that they're not administered in a physician's office, they largely function as humectants, meaning they help to hold water onto the surface of the skin and they make for really great moisturizers. So the night renewer is a really good moisturizer for areas of the skin where you have some dullness and dryness. It can be used on the face sparingly. You just want to avoid putting it around the eyes because glycolic acid should not go near the eyes. In addition to the glycolic acid, and I mentioned the shea butter, this also has squalene in it. Again, I talked about that. It also has aloe in it, and aloe can be soothing and anti-inflammatory. And then it also has arnica extract, which, like aloe, can be soothing and anti-inflammatory. So the arnica extract and the aloe extract, while they can be soothing and anti-inflammatory, they are plant-derived and they do have a variety of other compounds in them that potentially can be irritating to a variety of people in an unpredictable manner. So I would say as far as the red flag ingredients that could potentially be issues in the night renewer are going to be the arnica extract and the aloe. Yeah, we do see cases of allergic contact dermatitis to arnica, topical arnica and homeopathic arnica preparations. People can become allergic to that and frequently do. So I would say that's the red flag ingredient in this. But otherwise, it's a nice moisturizer for people with dry, dull skin. If you have seborrheic dermatitis and you've got some of that flaky stuff, you may derive benefit out of using this. You may see benefit. It's also good if you have keratosis pilaris on the face. Glycolic acid is very helpful for softening some of that rough, bumpy stuff. It's a great humectant and a moisturizer, so it helps to hydrate the skin, which people with keratosis pilaris really need. It's a chronic thing that has to be managed with ongoing, consistent use of a moisturizer, and employing glycolic acid can really help soften that and impart good moisturizing. So I think it's good for people with kind of rough, bumpy skin, either related to keratosis pilaris, or you may just have dull skin due to dryness. You will find that this is a good moisturizer. Just avoid putting it near the eyes. It is not good to use around the eyes. Other glycolic acid creams and lotions out there that I do find effective and helpful include the one by Neostrata. It's their nighttime moisturizer. It's pretty expensive. It's like $50, I want to say. And I also like the Efficacy brand makes a very affordable glycolic acid lotion that is good. Both the Efficacy lotion and the Neostrata night cream, they are a little bit more intense, I would say, as far as the degree of exfoliation, but they're not necessarily heavy peelers or anything. But in contrast, the Night Renewer by Maelove is more of a softening moisturizer. It is more robust as a moisturizer. Those tilt more towards the helping to lift up the dull flaky stuff. Whereas the Maelove is a very good moisturizer that can softening moisturizer. Maelove also has an oil cleanser. Unfortunately, I can't recommend the Day Eraser because it contains lavender and rose oil, which are fragrance. Maelove says on the site that their products are fragrance free. I think what they mean by that is their products are free of synthetic fragrance, which is misleading to people because synthetic fragrance and natural fragrance do not differ in terms of their risk to your skin, or they still have to be avoided if you have already developed sensitivity to fragrance. People say, well, I don't have a problem with fragrance, so why is it a problem? Just because you don't have a problem with fragrance today does not mean you will not develop a problem with it down the road with consistent use. By definition, allergic contact dermatitis requires you to be exposed to the allergen, and the frequency of exposure, the concentration, that really isn't a determining factor, meaning you can develop it regardless of how many years you've been using it. You can develop a contact sensitivity. Yes, that can happen to anything in skincare products, but fragrance is the most common, and fragrance outside of smelling nice doesn't really offer anything else. So yeah, I always, try and emphasize, try your very best to avoid it for that reason. So the rose oil, the lavender oil, can't recommend it. Even in a wash off form like a cleansing oil, still can cause problems. And if you already have sensitivity, you can't use things that have rose oil or lavender oil in them. If you are allergic to fragrance, don't be misled into thinking that this is actually fragrance free and safe for you. It's not. Otherwise though, the oils in this are pretty good for removing water resistant makeup and mascara. It comes with rice bran oil, sunflower oil, and it's got some polyethylene glycols in it, which help to transition that oil, broken up makeup, dirt, mascara, sunscreen, help to transition that in combination with the oil that's broken it up, help to transition that to water very gently without disturbing the skin barrier. So if they were to leave out the rose and the lavender, this would be fantastic. So yeah. Big surprise, I'm not going to recommend the eye cream. Eye creams, I'm not alone as a dermatologist. Eye creams are really just something to separate you from your money, and the Maelove one is no different. It's got fragrance in it, it's got rose oil, lavender oil, and geranium oil, all of which are fragrance. Geranium, rose, contains something called geraniol. That is one of the allergens present on the patch testing to test if you have developed fragrance allergy or not. So it is definitely something that people with fragrance allergy have to avoid, and it is an allergen. No matter how the oil is processed, they'll say, oh, it's non-fragrant. That doesn't matter. Just because you can't smell it doesn't mean that it doesn't contain the antigens. So I don't recommend the eye enhancer. I don't recommend any eye creams. If you're new here and you want a list of eye creams, you're not going to find it. People will say like, well, the skin around the eyes is a lot thinner. Shouldn't you be using a specific cream there since the skin's more delicate? Theoretically, yes, but the skin around your eyes, whatever you're using on the skin around your eyes, you should be able to use on the skin on your face. And with eye creams, marketed to do all these things, they tend to have a laundry list of things that are more likely to cause problems for wherever you're putting them on the body, but in particular around the eyes, and should not go there. So stay away from eye creams. They're just there to separate you from your buck. So don't recommend the eye enhancer. If you're gonna have a skincare line, you also have to have a serum, and what better serum to have than vitamin C. Nothing sells like a vitamin C serum. You guys know my stance on vitamin C serums, topical vitamin C. I have not changed. Yes, topical vitamin C stabilized with ferulic acid and vitamin E has been shown in studies to be helpful for a variety of skin conditions, improving the appearance of photoaging. But the issue still remains true in that vitamin C is incredibly unstable, and we have not come to a consensus on the best formulation of it. And because it is so unstable in topical forms, it degrades, and when it degrades, it's incredibly irritating the skin, causes more problems than benefit. A lot of people will disagree with me, but that's how I feel about them, and I don't recommend them. They tend to be exorbitantly priced. So that being said, the Glow Maker is a vitamin C serum that is actually decently priced. I've seen worse, $27.95. And it has the trifecta of stabilized ingredients. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C that is most biologically active, stabilized with ferulic and vitamin E. That's been shown. Those are antioxidants that help stabilize the vitamin C. But that doesn't mean it's not going to degrade. It's got those antioxidants that'll help it help stabilize it, but it still can and will still degrade and be problematic. It's also got some other antioxidants in the formulation that, potentially could stabilize the product, but also could increase the irritancy of the product. It's got magnolia and citrus callus as well as grapeseed. These are rich sources of antioxidants, no doubt, but their irritancy when applied topically, particularly in combination with the acidic nature of vitamin topical ascorbic acid, potentially can be problematic. But I think what probably makes this product nice for people and why people like it is it's got sodium hyaluronate in it, which is a humectant. So that can kind of help in terms of holding water onto the skin. The way to use this is you apply it onto your face before your moisturizer. So really you're boosting your moisturizer's outcome by just holding on to a little bit of extra water there on the skin before you put your moisturizer on through that sodium hyaluronate. But you don't need an expensive serum to get hyaluronic acid. You can get that from the hyaluronic acid gel cream that Hada Labo makes very well. So you can boost your moisturizer using that. It's much more affordable. That product also has ceramides in it, by the way, which can help the skin barrier. So I would recommend that one over the Glow Maker. Because of the issues with topical vitamin C, their potential for irritancy, and the presence of the other antioxidants can further add insult to injury there. The magnolia, the citrus, the grapeseed extract potentially can worsen things for you. So hard for me to recommend that one. My favorite though, the number one recommendation I think would be the Sun Protector. You can see that here I've been blabbing through the entire duration of this video with it on. If you've made it this far, congratulations, but there's the cast for you guys. I'm pretty fair complected. It does still feel a little bit sticky, however, so I'm not entirely sure or confident how well your makeup, depending on the formulation, how well that will go on over, but I think it probably would do okay. And that little bit of particulate fine white that you see there, I think you would easily be able to camouflage with your makeups, with tinted sunscreens. Or maybe, if you're like me, you're just not bothered by the white cast at all. But that's probably my favorite product. Again, it's not super moisturizing though, and it is pretty matte. So oily skin types, this is for you. Oily people, acne prone people, this is for you. Dry skin, I think you're going to be a little underwhelmed with the performance of the Maelove sunscreen, but overall, I like it. Unfortunately, it's sold out. Slated to be back in stock in March, but hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.